Hey guys, I'm back. I just got back from my staycation, my little hiatus. It was much needed. I worked very hard this summer, and I just need a break sometimes, you guys, and it's not anything against my clients or anything. It's not that I don't love my job. I do. I don't want to do anything else. It's just, it's energy work, it's spirituality, it's life force energy, and sometimes I have to unplug and plug myself into myself and source and my own life, if that makes sense. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something that has been on my mind since a reading that I did for someone before my staycation. And the client and I talked about how conflict is a part of life. And I know that probably seems very, asinine to say. Because it's duh, we all know that. Hello. But I'm talking about in the context of connections and relationships between two human beings. I think that a lot of people... The two behaviors that I'm going to be talking about in this video are people that are very, 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 very quick to cut people off for stupid, petty, little reasons. Because we're all human, right? We're going to make mistakes. Or people that are very quick to throw witchcraft and brujeria and start wars over a conflict. Because I've seen such an increase in these two things the last, year and a half or so. It's crazy, okay? It's people... I'm an optimist, okay? I always try to see the good in things and people and situations. And in my utopia, which I call Nectopia, which is where I am 90% of the time, mentally, It is all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and Care Bears and cotton candy, right? It's just princess land. And everything is all soft and light and mushy-gushy and wonderful, right? But I acknowledge that as much as I would like it to be that way, I'm on planet Earth, and unfortunately, there's going to be conflicts and shit. Especially in the context of relationships, anytime you get human beings together, at some point, y'all are going to disagree on something, okay? Somebody is going to piss somebody off. Somebody is going to hurt the other one's feelings. It's life. Or, because I'm talking about people cutting off others for small, petty, stupid-ass reasons, right? Because they don't understand that no one is perfect, including them. But the ones that are also quick to be on the other end and throw brujeria because someone cut them off. Or because something didn't work out. Do y'all know how many spells I would have under my belt if I did it for every time that another human being and I had a disagreement? Girl, my home would look like a botanica of candles. I'm not saying the only type of brujeria that I do is candle magic. It's a euphemism, okay? I'm saying it would be ridiculous. But we'll get to that part in a minute. I think that a lot of people, because of social media, they think that they have millions of people at their disposal. And I have seen this so much in my readings the last year. It's people are constantly breaking up and getting back together and breaking up and getting back together. Because like, that person that was impulsive and cut the other one off, eventually, most of the time, is going to realize, hey, that was stupid of me. Because at the end of the day, social interaction and relationships and human-to-human connection is a human need. Do you need it to physically survive? Some people say no. But it depends. There's lots of studies out there and peer-reviewed articles about, I think I read about one case in nursing school, actually. I forgot what the medical condition was. But the doctors called it, like, dying of a broken heart. I think it was a man whose wife had passed away, and he died shortly after. And they did an autopsy and looked at his heart, and it looked like strings, like broken strings or something. It was very sad. But eventually, like, our brain wants to resolve things, right? But I think our emotions get in the way. And I'm not saying don't have any boundaries and be a doormat by any means. I've said it before. If there's one thing Nikki will do, I will leave you. I will leave you. Will I cry on my way out? Probably. Will I raise hell and not want to go? And have to be dragging my own ass the whole time? Probably. But usually, unless it's something very, very bad, or something it's just shitty, disrespectful behavior, I try to work it out. If I care about this person, or if I love them, all of that. Because I think a lot of people, when they get into conflict, and again, this is not just romantic relationships, this can apply to friends, family, whatever. A lot of people, when there's a disagreement, they see it as war. They see it as me against you, you against me. And we're fighting to be right. And I used to be that way. I really did. Okay? But then, I met my match. Okay? My ex-boyfriend. I think, how long was I with that man? 11 months? Yeah. Always fighting. It felt like war. And he was a Panero, so that doesn't help, right? Even though I never threw at him and still have not thrown at him, but that's another video. We were both very fiery and impulsive, and it was so intense, that, like, war aspect, that one day, I sat at my boboda, I remember, and I just started crying. Because it struck me like a fucking lightning bolt. And I was like, this is not war. Yeah, we're pissed off at each other, but this is the person that I love. Like, I don't want to be fighting with him. We're supposed to be a team and resolve things. Like, I think a lot of people need to remember when they're in arguments and stuff that they love this person. Right? There's room in your heart for both. You can love someone and also be very pissed off at them. And say, look, I need a minute. I need a break. I'm not saying ghost them or block their number unless that's your decision, but I think the healthy thing to do is say, look, I need a breather, give me 10 minutes, and then we can talk about it. Or an hour, or however long you need. But the reassurance for the other person needs to be there. Because some connections, unfortunately, feel like war. Because one person doesn't feel heard, or both people don't feel heard, and I don't know. Maybe this is very much like I just want to kumbaya with every one of me. But bottom line, if it's something fixable and you care about this person and love them, because you know if you love them, okay? You know if you break up with them right now or block your best friend or cut her off or whatever because of a small misunderstanding, you know you're going to miss her. Or you know you're going to want your boyfriend back or your girlfriend back. And you also know that it's fixable. So, don't self-sabotage by being like everyone else in this generation and impulsive as fuck and cutting people off. Oh my god, I feel like such a fucking, like, Sunday school teacher. Oh. If it was a perfect world, yes, I would like for everyone to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. My dad used to make me do that. It's a long story. He would start singing it and shit, and that song will forever be ingrained in my head. But, yeah, that's what I would like to happen. Conflict is going to happen. If you love each other, work shit out. Or try. And try. I'm not saying run yourself ragged or put up with outrageous disrespect. But I think that it's getting to the point where more often than not, people are destroying relationships and connections over things that are fixable by a fucking conversation. There's people in my life that we've had disagreements, and I can think of one right now. He's, how old is he? I don't know, he's a good bit older than me, 22 years, something like that. We had one or two disagreements, and all it took to completely transform that connection was a conversation. And me stepping into my soft, light, feminine energy and being calm and saying, look, I understand why you feel this way, but I would never do that. And it hurts me that you think X, Y, and Z. And I don't want this to be a problem because I do care about you, I do love you, etc. That's all it took. Completely, I can call that man for anything right now and he will step. Okay? And it's almost like a good thing that it happened because I know that I can trust this man and I can be soft and I can be feminine and that we can have a disagreement and it still be emotionally safe. Right? And I could go on and on for hours about this, but y'all get the gist. Let me get some of my drink. Because yes, this video required me to have a drink beforehand because people are just so too emotional. And that's coming from me. From me. That was the sound of me getting back in my bed, y'all. I'm ready to hit the hay. But now on to the brujeria. This one. I have seen some crazy shit. Especially on social media and TikTok. two spiritualists or two witches, whatever, have a disagreement, and they don't like what the other one said, here they're going to war. Guns blazing. Wild, wild, wild west. You guys, conflict is a part of life. Leave it alone or work shit out. Like, quit being so damn impulsive. That word keeps coming to my brain, right? Because that's what it is. Like, what happens if you decide to throw work at that person and for the newbies here, throw work means like do witchcraft. Malevolent, harmful witchcraft. What happens if y'all get into a disagreement and you run with your impulsive behind and do spell work in the heat of the moment because you're pissed off? And, you, let's say, I don't know, you take it to the cemetery. Because especially newer spiritualists, when they want to throw, they run to the cemetery. And you bury it. And you go home. And like 5 days later, you just start thinking about it. And you realize, you know what? I fucked up. That was stupid. That was so petty. We shouldn't have been fighting about that. Or, you know what? I really don't want them to get hurt. And you go back to the cemetery because you want to try to make it right, which is commendable. That's more than a lot of people do. And you can't find the work. You can't destroy it. You can't break it. Because there was like 200 graves and you didn't write down the one that you worked with. Like, are there other ways that you can break it? Yeah. Like, you don't physically have to destroy the work, but that would be the quickest and easiest way to undo it. And it happens all the time. And so then you gotta kind of hope that it doesn't go through. Because you know you're wrong. And a lot of practitioners will not admit to themselves or anyone else that they're wrong. Like, I've made mistakes on my path. Anyone who says they haven't is full of shit. Like, I, used to be very impulsive and very fiery. This was before Pablo. Somehow, I think it's because I know, like, how powerful Pablo is. It almost calmed me down in a way. Because I knew the weapon that I had in my back pocket. Right? So I kind of had that security. If that makes sense. It's very hard to explain. But that's basically what happened with me. Whereas a lot of people, Paulo will do the opposite. And turn them into, like, wannabe, bloodthirsty warlords. Yeah. I'm sure that message was for someone. I have a feeling. I don't know who. But again, Spirit was on my heart about this. Because you gotta calm the fuck down. Now, if somebody cheats on you or they're being abusive or just anything extremely, like, hurtful, by all means, like, yeah, use that anger. I've done that too. And it works. But sometimes And I think a lot of people forget this. Sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is cry. Or if you're not a crier and you're more aggressive and angry, have a temper tantrum in your room. In privacy. I can't tell you guys how many times my spirits have seen me spaz the fuck out. Because that's my safe space. That is a space that I have created for myself when I need to release those emotions. And also, my spirits are there, so if they choose to intervene, they can. Because they see what I'm going through and what I'm dealing with. And sometimes that's all it takes for things to be fixed or justice to be served. Like, it's not always your job. And it's happened to me, and it's happened to some of my friends too. Sometimes your own spirit guides will tell you, if you're not getting the message, like, look, you need to apologize to that person. I remember this one time, I had traveled, and I was hanging out with an elder of mine. Like, this was like 4 years ago. Some stuff had happened like 3 or 4 months prior, and she fell out with 2 girls. One of them lived in the same apartment complex as my elder. And I'm not sure if my elder was throwing or if she was just defending herself. But regardless, there was a lot of beef between those two. And again, her enemy at the time lived in the same apartment complex. I was there when her spirits told her, you need to take your behind and get your shoes on and walk across that apartment complex and apologize to her. And that's just one example. That's another form of conflict resolution. Will our spirits fight for us? Yeah, of course. They don't want y'all to be hurt and sad and mopey and upset and confused and all these terrible things. No, they don't. But, like, the higher level spirits, they don't really like unnecessary bullshit, if y'all have not noticed that. They don't. They're like, this is not worth my fucking time. I'm not coming down here for this. Leave me alone. Yeah. And when I get readings where this is happening, I'll ask my client, like, were you kind of hasty when you left? They'll be like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, kind of walk me through what happened. What was the issue? And they tell me. And you can hear it in their voice that they regret it. It's almost like a shameful tone of voice. And they'll have come to me for reconciliation work. And I'm not money hungry, okay? I will always ask you guys, have you tried yourself to work this out with this person? Just human to human. Have a conversation. No brujeria, no candle, no spell, no nothing needed. And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Well, give them a call or go see them or whatever. Try to talk to them. And if that goes left, let me know and we can talk again and see where we can work together. But I just, this world is so full of negativity, and people are just mean, y'all. And I'm an old soul, and that's something that I realized today. Like, I get frustrated with a lot of people because of how mean they are. I just don't like maliciousness. It pisses me off. And I had to remind myself and humble myself earlier today, like, Nikki, you're an old soul. You've kind of been through this a lot of times. They have not. There's a lot of new souls on this planet. And I told myself, I can't get too upset because that was probably me at one time. Like 10 lifetimes ago. I was probably doing the same shit. I don't have to condone or encourage their behavior. But I can hold space as a human being and have compassion for them. So, this was kind of a ramble, but I just wanted to get this off my chest because I'm so tired of everyone fighting. I'm tired of... Y'all are just too damn mean to each other. And yes, I say y'all because I'm not perfect by any means, but I stay to myself, okay? If my friends or my people reach out to me, yeah, I'm going to be sweet to them. I'm going to be nice to them and have normal human conversations. Or if I want to talk to them, I'll reach out to them. But other than that, other than my little circle, I don't bother anybody. I just watch people be so mean to one another, and it sucks. So, anyway, if you would like a reading, you can go in my description and click the link, and there's booking info on there. I do spell work. I make spiritual baths, cleansing. I'm very good at love, healing, and reconciliation work. That's kind of like my go-to, my specialty. And I know that with the cold season coming, everybody wants to have a boo, right? Okay? Just contact me if you need anything, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.